Tom Clark's 6M podcast is a Boink Studios production. And now, on with the show.
Hey, what is up? Welcome to Tom Clark's 6M podcast. I'm your host, Tom Clark. And in this episode, I'm joined by co-host Christopher Ray Patton.
We lost a great director this past year, kids. Depending on when you listen to this, the great Rob Reiner left us way too soon. Horrible circumstances, which we don't have to get into here today. This podcast is not about that. We're here to celebrate one of his greatest works of all time, The Princess Bride. If you read the notes going into this episode, you know that Chris and I typically do movie reviews as in watch-alongs. This is going to be something a little bit different. We are not live watching the film this time. And I debate on whether or not to do that. But today, after watching the film back on my own it hadn't been that long since I've seen it. A few months maybe. But went back and watched it. And it occurred to me, man, I'm glad we didn't do a watch-along because we would have talked over top of all this great dialogue. Because there's great dialogue in this freaking movie. And folks, if you've never seen it, buddy, you're making a mistake, I'm telling you. But now's the time to right the ship. Go watch The Princess Bride. If you haven't done it, go do it now, and then you can come back and listen to this. Because we're going to tell you what we think about it, give you our takes on it, give you some trivia and some behind-the-scenes stuff, and tell you what we think from start to finish, and talk about the great Rob Reiner while we're at it. But before we get to that, let's do this. The Princess Bride is a fantasy adventure romantic comedy directed by Rob Reiner and written by William Goldman, adapted from Goldman's own 1973 novel. I actually didn't know that bit, weirdly enough. Told through the framing device of a grandfather reading a storybook to his sick grandson, the film blends fairy tale romance, swashbuckling adventure, satire, and sincere emotion. The film walks a rare tonal line of gently spoofing fairy tale conventions while fully committing to its characters and stakes. Released by 20th Century Fox on September 25th, 1987, The Princess Bride struggled to find a wide theatrical audience due to marketing confusion over its genre. Over time, however, it became one of the most enduring cult classics in modern film history through home video, cable TV, and generational word of mouth. The film was produced on an estimated budget of $16 million and grossed approximately $30.9 million worldwide. And that is your lowdown for The Princess Bride. So, Chris, as we're going into this, we talked a bunch before we hit the record button here today. And folks, as you may or may not know, we did cover this as Spinal Tap. I'm sure we'll do the sequel eventually. We're fans of Rob Reiner's here on the show. Chris, I know that you covered your own Rob Reiner work with Stand By Me on Bachman's Basement. What do you think about The Princess Bride as we go into this review here today? It's got to be one of Reiner's best of all time, right?
It's tough. For me, it's definitely Stand By Me or this film. And this one I connect with on a kind of a different level, like the childhood nostalgia for it. And every time I watch it, it makes me just feel like a brightness inside, even if terrible things are going on. And when he passed away, I watched this movie again, and it just gives me like an uplifting feeling. I just love everything about it. I think the casting is great. It's just a wonderful film. It's like one of those, and I'm sure other people feel that way about some Disney films or something like, Aladdin or whatever. But for me, it's like Princess Bride and Rock-a-Doodle give me a very special feeling that like I can only relate back to being like, 7 or 8 years old and seeing these movies and having that reaction, feeling like I'm, Fred Savage, hearing the story for the first time. And, yeah, it's wonderful. This movie, I know it gets a lot of cult love, but it's not talked about as when it comes to like best childhood movies or like kids movies or whatever. And I think it should be in that category. I think it's a great fairy tale. The acting is brilliant. It's got Andre the Giant in it, which already surpasses most kids' films.
Yes,
but it's incredible. Reiner, such a great director. And if you want to hear me get teary-eyed and have a breakdown, go listen to the Stand By Me Bachman's Basement episode. I'm going to try to hold it together because they're all of these movies that you talked about with Stand By Me and Spinal Tap and obviously what we're covering here today, they have such a special place in my heart in different time periods of my life, which is all you can really ask for from an artist or a director, right? Like that you can go back and have that emotional connection with.
That's a great point. Yeah. And I like the way you described it, that, it's got a special place for you. It's kind of like Mel Brooks stuff. And I'm going to make a weird comment that sounds like I'm criticizing. I love Mel Brooks. He's one of the greatest of all time. But there are moments in a Mel Brooks movie where you just know they're going for that laugh. You know what I mean? Like, let's get that laugh. Let's get that laugh, which is fine. Whereas Monty Python would be like, we're just going to drop a bunch of jokes. And if you laugh, cool. And if you don't laugh, that's fine too. I feel like this movie is just telling the story, not really going for a joke. But when it presents itself, you're like, that was one of the most understated laughs I think I've ever had watching a movie. You know what I mean? It feels like this movie's just not trying very hard, man, which it works. When I watch it every time, it works, man.
And it really does work from the narrative standpoint of the grandpa reading this book to a sick kid, right? Like the jokes are in his inflection and how he's reading the book, because maybe it's not really that funny. If you read it very dry, maybe it's not that funny. Maybe it is in the inflection of the characters and the actors, and that's coming from this grandpa trying to cheer up a sick kid or someone that skipped school. We're still not sure on whether he was trying to Ferris Bueller or not. But you do get this great interaction between the narrator, and I'm slipping on the actor's name, and I apologize. And it's Fred Savage is the kid, right? Am I messing up his name? Okay.
No, you got it.
That would be terrible if I was.
Peter Falk is the grandpa.
Peter Falk, yeah. Great actor in his own right. I just couldn't, the name was eluding me. But you get this, I think that's why some of the jokes land in that way, what you're describing, because it's almost like, you can read the same sentence 3 different times and only one time is going to be funny. It just depends on how you read it. And I think that they shot it that way, where it's the grandpa is telling this wonderful story that he loves, and he's trying to pass it down and giving all these jokes and character voices or whatever. Like, like if you just dry read Lord of the Rings, how fun is that? But if you do it in like Hobbit voices, for instance, like makes it more fun, right? Like, but yeah, it's kind of, I get what you're saying. Cause like with Mel Brooks, you're like, all right, come on, here's the stick.
Yeah. Right.
We're waiting for it. And I love me and you both have, talked about how much we love Mel Brooks. And I don't know that we've done one together.
I don't think so,
but we'll find one
for sure.
We'll do one together. But we both love Mel Brooks, but it is a different style of comedy. This is kind of a little different, and it's dry in the way that a lot of Rob Reiner's stuff in Spinal Tap is, right? It's about the delivery of the actors in a lot of ways, because I think if you cast this wrong, this movie would just be terrible. But it's casted perfectly. I don't know. Everything about it is so great, and to the point where some of the actors, and we'll talk about them as we go down the line, weren't written to have as many parts as they did, but they were so great. They were like, oh, we need to change the script. Like, we need to keep this going. Like Inigo Montoya, for instance, is not supposed to be a character that makes it all the way through this film. But yeah, so it's kind of, it just shows how good Rob Reiner is at this kind of stuff. It was the same thing when we were talking about Stand By Me. There's characters that were just supposed to be like one-off conversations or like not even necessarily dream sequence, story sequences, where one of the main characters is telling a story to the rest of his friends. It's supposed to be like a 10-second thing, but it was so funny. They're like, let's expand on this. And I love that his adaptability for stuff like that as a director. And yeah, very different than Mel. Mel's his own thing in general, but
Mel's very, I was going to say vaudeville. Maybe that's the wrong word. He's just very set up the joke, punchline, set up the joke, punchline. And, again, not an unfair criticism, because he's a legend and I love his stuff. It's just different approaches to it. You know what I mean? It's different approaches. I mean, when you said the cast was perfect, you could not have said that better. buddy, if you explain this movie to somebody who had never heard it or seen it, it might be like, I don't know, it sounds okay, but like, I think you have to see it, man. Like, I've never read the book. Let's start there. Have you read the book?
I have not. I feel like I had the book read to me by my grandpa. I'm watching this movie. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that I want to read the book. I don't know that it will be a better retelling of this. And this is coming from a guy that does a Stephen King podcast and yells about movies all the time. But at some place, like this one holds such a place in my heart. I don't know that I would want to have a different opinion of it or read it differently that is not as funny, or it's obviously not the same. They're not going to be one and one. But yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I love the setup for this with the narrator and him telling the story, because it's like he's doing his own take on it. So it's a perfect setup for if you're going to adapt a book to a movie to begin with. Because like he could just make the story his own, right? Like the kid doesn't know what's on the pages. You could just tell him whatever. And I appreciate that, the setup and the lead in of that. And maybe that's just a me thing and I'm overthinking it. But yeah, I've never read the actual book. So apologies. Maybe I should have done that before I came on today as the resident reading nerd. But man, I've read so much recently.
Dude, I gotta tell you, man, before today, I don't know that I knew this was based on a book. Maybe I knew and just forgot, because it seems like, how in the world did I not know this? But when I read it, making notes for this, I'm like, wait a minute, there was a book. So it's new. It's news to me. I mean, you're right. I don't know what more value it could add. I feel like the movie's doing the job. In terms of the plot, kids, if you've not seen it, or if you have, real quick sum up. So you got Buttercup, who's a farm girl turned princess. She's forcibly engaged to Princess Humperdinck. Buttercup and Prince Humperdinck are just great names. Her true love, Westley with a T, presumed dead, returns as the masked man in black. Spoiler alert. Sorry, everybody. And the story unfolds. Should have said that first, huh? The story unfolds through kidnapping, sword fights, revenge quests, and moral tests. It's got a very basic plot, Chris. There's nothing very involved to it. It doesn't need to be complex. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. Fairy tales should be straightforward and simple. And then you can add texture as the story goes. But this, does it feel like an old fairy tale to you? Does it check all the boxes you think when you think of like Grimm's fairy tales or something? Does it check all those boxes for you or no?
Well, I mean, it doesn't get as dark as Grimm's fairy tales.
Well, that's fair.
But I mean, it checks all the boxes. I mean, like, it feels like a perfect Disney movie without being cartoonish and kind of Disney. Like, I don't want to say lame, because I like Disney films. But you know what I mean? There's a little bit of an edge to it. And that's kind of another reason, like, going back to the book, right? Where it's kind of an ironic fantasy novel type deal. It's like, do I want to read that, or do I just want to keep this pure in my heart? But yeah, it's also, that book is an abridgment of another, but it is very much like that. I just said Grimm's fairy tales, where other people have had takes on it. When you said that it's like kind of a basic fairy tale, I would disagree with that from the standpoint that there's so much going on.
Well, that's fair.
With so many movies. So you have a kidnapping after Westley gets killed, but then he's gone for years and becomes a pirate, the Dread Pirate Roberts, right?
The Dread Pirate Roberts.
And then he meets up with the kidnappers like years and years later, which is never explained, right? Or like, I guess they didn't kidnap her after, but she gets kidnapped and he shows up as Dread Pirate Roberts. You get pirates, you get princesses, you get knights, you get
a giant.
A giant, yeah, an actual giant. Yeah. Just you get exploding fart lava. So I don't know how else to put it. Yeah, it's like, I there's a lot, like you said. I take it back. You did say like building out the rest of it, like the subtext and all of the other elements of it, I guess. If you look at it just on its face, it's like, yeah, it's Legend of Zelda, right? Like Link had to go save the princess, or Mario gotta save the princess. But there's so much more there in both of those instances, right? Like,
Sure, for sure.
I think I love this movie so much. I'm just gonna let you
I do
talk,
too.
and then we'll get back to where we're going, because I'm drifting. I'm like, this legend. This does seem very much like Ocarina of Time.
By the way, in Zelda, this happened. I'm like, wait a minute, stop.
Is this Ocarina of Time? Wait, is Ocarina of Time based on this? What are you doing?
We have been known to get distracted, kids, but we'll attempt to land the plane here. By the way, the Dread Pirate Roberts, I love that you have to say the Dread Pirate Roberts every single time you talk about the Dread Pirate Roberts. Like, there's a character in The Tick, if anybody's familiar with The Tick comic book, where the character's name was the evil mad bomber what bombs at midnight. So every time they talked about him, they had to say, it's the evil mad bomber what bombs at midnight. So anyway, that's I love that we had to throw that in. Very cool. By the way,
it's perfect. Like,
right? Carrie Elways. Let's start with the cast, man. A young Carrie Elways. This is before Robin Hood Men in Tights, and before he became the star that he later became. Is this his breakout hit? Because I don't know if it is. Is it?
I mean, I would say so. And then just to throw it back to Mel Brooks, like, the next biggest thing I know him in is Men in Tights, right?
That's fair, yeah.
So it's kind of funny that those things wrap back. We did not plan that, by the way, listeners out there. Yeah, as far as I know, he was kind of unknown before this role.
Let's see. He Yesterday's Hero was his first movie in 1979. Another Country and Oxford Blues in 1984. The Bride, yes, a movie called The Bride in 1985. Lady Jane and Mashinka in 1986, and then 1987, The Princess Bride. I don't know those other films, but I know Princess Bride, so we're going to go with that.
Yeah, so that's what I was getting at. Is like, I don't know anything else on this list, so this must have been the breakout. I know that he trained reading. He trained like super intensely for the fencing parts in this film, right? Like, he spent a lot of time with a renowned swordmaster who'd done a ton of other movies, Bob Anderson. And was relentless on learning how to be good at sword fighting, which makes sense for this character, which is kind of cool. And I know for a fact that Goldman, who was the original novelist, right, and part of the film, part of the writing career of this movie, had reportedly said that if we don't get Carrie, we're not making this movie. So he made such an impression. He's like, that's it. He's perfect.
Oh,
for
wow.
the character.
He does have charm, doesn't he? He just has that very innocent charm, but he's very suave at the same time. But, he's got a personality or an approach that's just made for comedy, where like he's a straight man, but it's kind of a wink and a nod to the camera at the same time. Do you know what I mean? It's perfect, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it really, and we see that even further with Men in Tights, right? Like,
yeah,
he pops off the screen as something that you would just imagine while you're reading a book, which I think fits perfectly with this movie. Once again, going back to the narration aspect of it.
Yeah, for sure. And he, by the way, you mentioned the learning defense, man. Doesn't that show up in the film that he's very smooth? Like, you can tell when it's a stunt man. But most of those action shots, man, unless he's doing like a head over heels flip, that's actually him. And man, they look great doing the sword fights, man.
Yeah, just like, I just have such a respect for anyone that's like, how can I get better at this thing while I'm acting, right? Well, not even just acting, guitar, any kind of thing, right? Like, taking the time, because he didn't have to do that. They could have, especially because he's dressed as Dread Pirate Roberts during the first fight scene. Like, he didn't have to take the time to do all that. They could have stunt double did it or whatever. It probably wouldn't have looked as good. But to go out of your way to call, Bob Anderson, be like, I really want to get better at this, and like try to work that stuff out. And it shows. It really does show. So yeah, I would agree with you on that one.
He, his main, or his not main, but the love interest is Robin Wright as Buttercup. She is also great here. Again, as you said earlier, if you cast this movie wrong, it doesn't work. They've got great chemistry. There's something about her that is slightly dim-witted, even though her character, Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know that she comes off as being dumb, but there's moments where you're like, I don't know that she's all there, but I think it works so much, man.
It's perfect because her delivery and everything is so flat, so it does
Yes.
come off as dim-witted.
Yeah.
You know, like she doesn't recognize the love of her life as Dread Pirate Roberts. You know what I mean? Like, there's just it's comical in a way that I love. But
Not till he goes down the hill and he says, "As you wish." She goes, "What have I done?" And then throws herself down the hill. Right.
Which, yeah, I think it's great. But everyone in this movie's I mean, with the exception of the with Carrie's character is kind of dim-witted, if we're being honest.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Listen, I will say that is, I'm going to keep going back to Brooks. I didn't mean for this to become a Mel Brooks diatribe. Brooks does write characters that way, where they're flat out stupid or flat out funny. And then he'll have characters where you're like, is that guy all there or not? So he does do some subtlety, but that's, yeah. I really picked up on that.
So does Reiner with like Spinal Tap, right?
Very true.
Like there's very much like this thing where they're in their own little world, and you know, like
yeah.
It's not that they're dumb or they're not good at things. It's just like they're kind of just off in their own little world. It just takes them a while to realize there's an outside world happening.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. Man, we're going to go back to that podcast. Because now I'm thinking, there's stuff I should have said when we did that episode. Because, you know.
Well, we got Spinal Tap 2 to talk about in the future at some point.
Well, we'll just, we'll rehash it all then. I'm up for it.
Boink Studios YouTube is the home of Tom Clark's 6M podcast. Tom Clark's Main Event, Bear Mode, a podcast review of The Bear, and Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast. Subscribe to the channel for archives that date back to 2014, with new content being uploaded every week. And check out boinkstudios.com for links to every podcast platform, social media, special announcements, and a lot more. Bookmark the site today.
But yeah, I don't want to move past her too fast. She's great as a love interest here. This is Princess Buttercup. We've also got Mandy Patinkin, who is Inigo Montoya, and it's hard to say his name without saying, "My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." It's just such a great, one of the most quotable lines in the history of cinema, I think. It is freaking wonderful. Dude, to this day, he says this is the favorite thing he's ever done is this film. And this guy has had a big career on stage, movies, TV. He's done a little bit of everything. And to this day, this is his favorite role, man. He's fantastic in this movie.
I mean, I would think this, if I did this, and even if I went on to go do like, I don't know, The Sopranos or something after, like something world renowned, this would just be such a fun role to go and talk to your fans about. You know what I mean? Like it's such a fun character and this cool redemption arc, and I could see why this would be your favorite role. It's so fun, and he's so playful with it. Like even going back to that, we were talking about the sword fight, the sword fight at the beginning when Dread Pirate Roberts crawls up the canyon, and he's like, "I was only using my left hand."
Yeah.
it's so good. Like he's just such a great character, and he becomes beloved. At first he's this villain who doesn't really want to be a villain. He's really only after revenge, which is kind of its own subplot. The man with six fingers.
Very good.
And I don't know, he's just so great. And I know that he has talked about, I think the reason this is probably his favorite is he has openly talked about like fans coming up to him in tears, talking about like Inigo's speech, like meaning so much to them as kids and what they were going through or whatever. And I could see that, like helping cope with loss and all of that. And so it totally makes sense. It's just, how could this not be your favorite role? Like, I don't know what else he's done, but like,
right?
It's probably Robin Wright's favorite role as well. What's her other role? Jenny from Forrest Gump, which everyone hates. So it's probably her favorite role as well.
Jenny became the villain quick after that movie came out. It's like, oh man, yeah.
But like, if you think about it like that, like I don't know, I don't have his IMDb page pulled up, but did he play someone as lovable as Inigo, right? Who becomes, spoiler alert, guys, for this movie that's 40 years old. He becomes the Dread Pirate.
Yes, he does. The Dread Pirate Roberts.
It's just so great. Oh yeah, Dread Pirate Roberts. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You get that full title out there. It's like, here's the Duke of blah blah blah, and you got to say the entire thing every time. The dialogue, by the way, real quick, like I say real quick as if it doesn't matter. The dialogue, the writing of this movie is what does it. Like when they're squaring off, and he says, "You seem a decent fellow. I hate to kill you," and Wesley stands there and says, "You seem a decent fellow. I hate to die." It's so good. Like it's so good, man.
It's so funny too, because almost a shot at like Shakespeare. Do you bite your thumb at me? I do bite my thumb at you. From Romeo and Juliet. It has that
good.
vibe to it.
Yeah.
Like there's just such well writing in this, and it's performed so well.
He lets him climb the side of that.
He could just cut the rope, but he's like, I'm kind of bored. We'll see what happens.
The minute he gets up there, he takes his sword and goes, no, just take a rest. Again, thank you. They had to sit down and have fellowship together because they're going to have this duel, but they're both such honorable men. It's crazy.
It's the same thing with Fezzik as well.
Yes.
Coming up. Like, it's the same thing. He's like, I normally fight like 20 people your size.
Right? I want you to feel like you've got a chance, basically, He keeps bouncing off of him.
It's so good. I mean, I don't know. Like it's just so it does nail like the fairy tale, but the way it's drawn out like that, like it when you're watching it on screen, it goes back to the narrator part. I love that they positioned it as that. And I don't know if it does that. Maybe it does do this in the book as well. I don't know. But like you could just say so many things throughout like that space of him climbing to the top, that we didn't get on screen. Like there could have been like 100 deleted scenes of the conversation between those two.
Right.
Like if this was Mel Brooks, that would have went forever. That would have been like 15 minutes of the movie.
That's true. Yeah. You have the ring, and I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Sorry, it just jumped into my head. Andre the Giant, kids. We are pro wrestling guys here. And Andre the Giant, if you think pro wrestling's the dumbest thing on the planet, well, you're getting there. But we love it. But you've probably heard the name Andre the Giant. I mean, Chris, when every time the guy was asked, what was your favorite thing about making this film? He said, nobody looks at me, because they all treat him like an equal. They never treat him like he was a giant. They never apparently fell over themselves marveling how big he was. They just treated him like a peer. And he loved that. And that was his favorite bit. He's great here. He didn't need to be Brando. He didn't need to be Pacino. He just needed to be himself. I thought he was fantastic, man. And a performance that, by the way, Chris, he connected to this cast to the point that years after his death, they will tear up in interviews talking about this guy. I mean, dude, he made such an impact on everybody on this set, man, apparently.
It's also like there's a lot of big guys they could have casted too.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the size of Andre, but they could have went out and got a football player or whatever. The French accent, I think, helps the character a lot. I think it's kind of endearing in the way that he talks. And there's just something lovable about Fezzik in general, And as the movie goes on, and I'm sure as the actors were working with him and doing these different scenes, you're like, what a great dude. And no one's ever said, maybe Hogan has said something bad about Andre, but
sure.
Listen here, dude, it's not going to work for me, brother. Outside of that, I've never had like a negative story about Andre. It's always like he was such a nice guy. And so it's not surprising that these people have this emotional connection. He dies shortly after this film. So
yeah,
it's unfortunate. Andre had a lot of stuff going on health wise, and the fact that he was even able to do this film is kind of crazy, just from the wrestling standpoint, knowing where he was. But super cool and great casting. Like I said, they could have casted like Mark Gastineau from the New York Jets. You know what I mean? Like we just need a big dude. They could have casted a lot of people to do this. It's just like, you got to be bigger than Carrie Ells, which is like, wouldn't be super hard, Well, they could have got Sid Vicious to do it.
My God, can you imagine?
I'm kidding, but
That
you get what I'm
intensity.
saying. Is they
No,
could
I
have
get
picked
it.
another big dude to do this, and Andre is so perfect with the hair and the French accent and the way, and it's fitting within the fairy tale as well.
It is.
And it once again goes back to that narration of like he's doing a voice for these characters to some extent.
He is. Oh, for sure. And dude, it was 6 years after the release of this film when he passed. He was only 46. Sometimes I forget how young this guy was. Insane. By the way, we were messaging back and forth. We were talking about his physical health uh, into this. What did you find when you were, because we were both trying to find information on, how much of this is stuff that's just became legend through the years, how much of it is real, how much was he struggling, because he's still in wrestling, and I mean, in 87, of course, right? He's still going. Like, what did you find on your end?
It's wrestling, dude. So it's
Mm.
so hard to determine what is real and what's not real. I would take the words of the cast more so than other people around Andre.
Yeah.
There is this. Robin Wright has talked about that they had a very special connection and were really, really close on set and were good friends afterwards. So I would take her word for this. And there is accounts of him carrying Carrie, because Carrie hurt his foot during this film, and him carrying him from set piece to set piece for filming, like Andre just picking him up. But then there's also, like, even in the show The Young Rock, for instance, goes to the set during the filming. So take this for what it is, because wrestling, right? And Andre is so hurt and beat down that they've given him a golf cart to get from place to place.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I was not able to find enough out about this as we were talking about later, because I was pulling information about this movie, and those two things seem kind of conflicting. But then again, it's Andre, and he probably would just, give you the shirt off his back and carry you, even if it hurt him. He did it for Hogan. He carried his ass. But
well, you said that right.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, maybe he did do that and still needed a golf cart to get around. I mean, at this point, I do know that there's, famous stories from this time period of him drinking like just gallons of wine.
Yeah,
he's an enormous human being. And the 100 beer story, I think, was a little bit before this, but he had things going on, but it was always pleasant, apparently. So who knows? I would love, I'm assuming Robin Wright's still alive, right?
I believe so. Yes, I think
I would love to do an interview with her and just ask questions about Andre, because she gets asked about it and she's like, "Oh, we were so close on set," but it's never a deeper dive. I'd be like, like, what'd you guys do? Because like, did she go to the bar with Andre? You know what I mean? Like,
oh my god, can you imagine?
Like Andre's like, "Want to go get a glass of wine?" like how great would that be?
No kidding.
So like, there's a lot more questions I would love to ask her, and also I'd like to ask her a lot about Forrest Gump and how she feels being vilified for the past,
really,
20 plus years or whatever.
You were talking about the bond that these two had. There's a story out there, and I found it. Supposedly, it got really cold when they were filming this movie. So, in order to warm her up, Andre would take his hand and put it over top of her head as a hat between takes, and it warmed her up. It's great. Oh my god.
Which, by the way, if you guys don't know how big Andre the Giant's hand is, just if you have a 27-inch monitor, probably 27-inch monitor, there's like a handprint you can easily look up of how big this man's hand is. If you want to see it on YouTube, that's not Robin Wright. He puts his hand on top of Mean Gene Okerlund's head. You can watch that. This man could probably palm like a basketball and a half.
Oh, I would say. And to put it in perspective, kids, you could take a hard-boiled egg and put it through the ring on his ring finger. That's how big his fingers were. So just imagine what size hand you're talking about. Unbelievable. So, yeah, big guy. I mean, the whole gentle giant nonsense, which is such a silly catchphrase, but it absolutely fits here. Again, he is great. In terms of the criminals that, we've got Inigo Montoya. This is Patinkin, of course, and we've got Andre as Fezzik, Wallace Shawn as Vizzini, Dude.
I love him so much.
God,
So great. He keeps showing up in things I'm watching. I get excited every time.
Dude, he's got a face made for comedy, doesn't he? He's so great.
He's so good. And I know a lot of people are probably like, oh, I don't like Big Bang and Young Sheldon. He's so good.
He's awesome. Yeah.
He's incredible. It's so funny. Like, he's talked about his famous scene, the inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
He never thought that would be as iconic as he's talked about walking down the street, someone seeing him just yelling at him.
That's great.
Which is amazing. The whole idea of his character of being like this very smart person who's not that smart, like this fake intelligence, you know what I mean, is so great. Especially with these, this crew of kidnappers are very bad at their job.
Very bad.
To be fair, they could have easily killed Dread Pirate Roberts at the beginning of this. But they're very bad in a way that's really funny. And he's the smart one of the bunch.
Which is frightening because he's, like you said, not awesome. Yeah.
Apparently, Reiner kept asking him to push it and make it bigger and more arrogant, louder as a director.
That laugh he has, it's one of the fakest laughs you've ever heard, but it's so funny that it's fake. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like perfect for the character.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's so like, ha, 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 ha. It's so obviously not a real laugh, but it's perfect, right?
And I'm not going to try to do the monologue because it'd take me 8 years to get all of that wording right, where he's talking about switching the poison drinks.
Oh my God.
It's so good. It's so long too. Like it's like
is
2 minutes of him explaining why he's not going to choose the drink. And spoiler alert, guys. If you made it this way through, both drinks were poisoned because, as Dread Pirate Roberts, you have to take a little bit of poison every day because everyone's trying to kill you all the time.
He's like, I'm going to pick this one random poison because you never can tell when someone may try to kill me with it.
It's incredible,
dude. When Montoya's talking to him, and they cut the rope, and he's like, he didn't fall. Inconceivable. And Montoya says, you keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. It's so good.
Because like the whole boat ride there, he's saying it to you.
Yeah, it means nothing the first time. Then he just keeps going. You're like, I'm sensing a pattern here.
And also, this would have ended very poorly for these kidnappers anyways, because the prince shows up with an entire army shortly thereafter, making it up the cliff. It's just like they're just such a goof troop of baddies, like they're not the real threats, and they're not made to be the real antagonist of this movie. They're just kind of there, which works really well later when they, have a change of heart. So great.
Oh, for sure. And speaking about who the real bad guys are, Count Rugen is Christopher Guest, and Prince Humperdinck is Chris Sarandon. Sarandon does a fine job. I have no issues with Sarandon's performance, but buddy, he's got some serious comedy people around him. And I think he did fine. Do I think Sarandon's performance is, next to these other? And I know that sounds like weird criticism about a movie that I love, but man, Christopher Guest is so understated and so naturally funny, and he's such a straight guy. But man, it just works. And maybe that's the Nigel Tufnell coming out in him. But man, I don't know. Did you sense that about Sarandon, or do you have a different view than I do about him?
I mean, I don't know that I ever. I guess he's just kind of there.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a mean way. I think
Sure.
It's just a fine performance for what that character is. Christopher Guest is literally Lord Farquaad from Shrek later on.
He is, yeah.
They literally were like, they watched this and they were like, that's Lord Farquaad. You know what I mean? Like, even the way that they depicted him animation wise, it's so great. Like, but yeah, like, no, I don't know. He's kind of there.
Yeah, I agree. But Guest is great, man. It's hard to see him as anything other than Nigel Tufnell, if I'm being honest. But he's fantastic. You know what I mean?
I have no problem seeing him as this. I just don't. I see those as completely two different completely things. Like,
Well, they are,
I
but
think it's
still.
because of my love, like childhood love. I saw Spinal Tap later on, so
Oh, I see.
I think it's maybe this before that, or just not no comparison at all. Like, you could tell me that they're not the same actor, and I probably wouldn't know.
Well, you know what? That's fair because it is kind of tough to see unless you know. That's a fair statement. Yeah, I think they do look different. I say they as in there are two people. The characters look different enough. By the way, a good story here about this is that in that bit when he hits Wesley over the head, Elway's told him to hit him. He's like, hit me for real. And apparently he hit him so hard, he knocked him out cold and cut the top of his head. And they had to shut the movie down for a day while he went to the hospital. Like, my God, dude, you hit him with a brick. What happened?
He's like, he talked to Andre beforehand. He's like, well, if he asks you to hit him, you have to hit him hard. In Japan, people used to ask me about hitting all the time.
Yeah.
He's like, not talking about the wake of dead bodies that Andre left in Japan.
No kidding.
By the way, guys out there, if you're looking at Fezzik and you're not a wrestling fan and you're like, oh, that's fine, Andre's a fun guy, watch this man jump 4 feet in the air and do a drop kick in New Japan. It is incredible. This is a feat. It's just no one that big should ever leave their body like that. Like, they should never jump high. It's insane.
I mean, dude, him jumping up in the air and doing a drop kick and falling back down to the earth is like dropping a VW bug from a crane. It's like, whoosh,
yeah, you know? It is insane. Like, how mobile Andre was in the late 70s specifically is something to behold from what you're witnessing as Fezzik.
It's very true. Yes, two different people, man. He was Andre got his money, kids. Don't you be worried about that. I don't know that Andre was underpaid. I don't know if anybody would have had the guts to underpay Andre the Giant because, you know, Andre was all business. And there's a reason why a certain Hulk Hogan actually thought Andre was not going to do business because he was stubborn and because he was not ready to pass the torch. And, you know, Chris, there's been stories about that through the years too. It's like Hogan's exaggerating as Hogan was wont to do. But I'm like, no, I'm kind of with him on this one. I don't think he's making that up for dramatic effect. I think maybe Andre left him in the dark in the day leading up to Mania. Like, yeah, don't worry, boss, I'll do it. And then kind of.
I think that Vince left Hogan in the dark.
That's fair too, actually.
Because Vince and Andre had a very special relationship, and it's one of the few people that Vince, I think, actually treated well as a performer, and maybe that was because of how the respect his dad had for Andre, because we're going back to WWF there.
Yep.
Right. You know, in a lot of ways, it taught Vince a lot dealing with Andre because he learned how to make spectacles, whether they were good or not, where you're talking about like Great Khali or Kane or like these big monsters. It kind of taught him that. And as far as I know, like Andre and Stephanie has talked about how good of terms that the family was on with Andre. So take that with a grain of salt because they're big fans.
Sure.
But from that time period, I believe that like Vince is like, let's make him sweat it out. It'll be funny to see what Hogan does. And it's like, you know, like at this point, Andre could kind of barely walk. So it's not like he's going to beat up Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? Like Hogan can just kick him in the shin and he'd be done.
Yeah, but can you imagine if he kicked out of that leg drop? If the ref had to stop counting? Man.
Well, yeah, but also, could you imagine if Iron Sheik would have just broke his leg? Like Vern wanted. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about alternate universes at some point. But
sure.
But yeah, Andre did the right thing. And as far as I know, I think even after he was done wrestling, like couldn't wrestle anymore, that he was still getting a paycheck from WWF for quite some time. So like, and as bad as Vince is and stuff, I feel like he's maybe one of the guys that he took care of kind of in a crazy way, which is weird. Like, I can't imagine those two ever having a good time together because Vince is such a tragic old bad person, and like Andre's notoriously known as being a really good dude,
right?
So it's like How do you get them together? He's like, they're at a steakhouse and Andre orders, 62 ounces of steak, and Vince has got his little 12 ounce over there pouring ketchup on it. Andre's like, oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, I know those stories. Jesus.
But
Yeah,
anyways, we're
disgusting.
going off the rails here. But it's yeah, I don't know. Andre's anyways, what I was getting at is go watch him in the like late 70s. It's incredible to see how this man was moving and how giantism really affected his life headed into the 80s. Before that, there was, and this would have happened to Paul White as well, the Big Show out there, but there's medications for it now, so he tamed himself down, or he could have been God. There's no telling how big Paul White could have been,
Right.
headed into WCW, which is crazy. And both of those guys athletic as hell early on,
Right.
which is crazy.
I mean, and also, like, I'm going to get this wrong maybe, but it seems like the surgery did not exist when Andre was alive, or it did, but he had waited too long, and it would have been more dangerous to have it, or something along those lines. Maybe it didn't exist yet.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact. I said medication. Maybe it was a surgery. I don't remember all of the. I know Paul White went through with it.
Yeah.
And he stopped growing at, like, what is he, 7'3" or something?
Yeah.
He's
Jeez.
actually bigger than Andre, which is crazy.
It is crazy.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, as far as I know, it didn't exist, or it wasn't available, or he had hurt his body too much through wrestling. Because I mean, he was pretty much a circus attraction.
He was. Yeah.
In a weird way, and that's a terrible thing to say, but like when he started out in France, like wrestling was still carnival trade. It wasn't really like we have it here in the States with territories. It was more like, come see if you can beat the giant.
Yeah, it's a tent show. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's not on camera as much as, Wesley is in this movie, but man, different movie without him. Any other actor who may have done a great job, still not the same movie. You just lose charm. You lose innocence. You lose that humility. You lose presence, if nothing else. I mean, yeah, it's just not the same film, dude, honestly.
And they replace him with Bruiser Brody. It's a whole different movie.
Well, hey, to your point, everyone that knew him outside the ring said he was a teddy bear. Nicest guy you ever met. Just a kind soul. But man, when that bell rang, brother, he was all business.
I could just imagine Bruiser trying to smash Wesley in the head with a rock would be way different.
Major concussion.
Yeah, he already got one concussion.
Right?
From Lord Farquaad. Imagine what Bruiser would have done. He's like, y'all ring the bell. It's like, we didn't ring the bell. We said action. He's like,
it was that action. What are you talking about? Bell? What are you talking
the
about?
same thing.
Man,
Bruiser
imagine
starts chasing after Rob Wright.
at the risk of derailing us again, imagine Brody, what kind of acting career he could have had after wrestling. Man,
Oh my
I'm
God, it
telling
would have
you
been
right now.
incredible, man.
Dude.
He'd have called his boy Terry Funk. Would have been
Yes.
in all of the action films together.
Oh my God.
Bruiser
Oh.
Brody and Roadhouse would have been so awesome.
Oh, I can't even talk about it. Kids, we mentioned Peter Falk in the beginning. He is the grandfather. And we also have, of course, Fred Savage. Were you a Wonder Years kid, Chris,
I
by
love
the way?
Wonder Years.
Yeah.
Wonder Years has one of the saddest TV episodes of all time. One that will always make me cry anytime I happen upon it, which I have
Mhm.
not. I try to avoid it as much as I can.
Mhm.
There's this, I don't know if it's the last episode of Wonder Years or the second to last episode, but he talks about going to college and the dog just always waiting for him to come home from school.
Mhm.
And he doesn't, and the dog dies. And I'm like, this is the sad why. Wonder Years
Jeez.
is supposed to be like, yeah, it's like the saddest thing.
I was going
And
to say
like,
the dad or something.
yeah, no. Me and my friend Griff were watching this. Like, he's telling this story about how much he loved his dog, and the dog would always be waiting for him when he'd come home from school. And then he went to college, and the dog would just sit there waiting for him every day until he died. I was like, God. And me and my roommate at the time got so drunk afterwards. We were so depressed. We were like, it's the saddest thing. I'm an animal person. I was so sad, brother.
Oh my God.
So sad. So don't ever watch. I think it is the series finale of Wonder Years. But yes, I'm a Wonder Years guy. Wendy, yo, shout out. Hit my DMs if you're out there.
She's making Hallmark movies, man. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Yeah. That is, because see, I was not a Wonder Years kid at all. That is, what's the actress? You are talking about the main actress of the show, right?
Yeah, she became a mathematician or something. It's crazy. I'm gonna
She's
look
doing
this up,
Hallmark
so
movies.
sorry if you hear clicking.
Well, hey, but look, like I just imagine someone walking in the room and you guys are like drunk and crying. It's like, oh my God, what happened? Like, it's a dog, man. A freaking dog died. And I'm like, wait, what? Like,
It's actually a crazy story. I'm gonna have to send him this after this because like he had a 1991 Honda Acura, and we were driving home from work, and the brake master cylinder went out. So
oh wow.
we were literally e-braking all the way home. We got back to the apartment. He's like, I gotta find a way to deal with this. And he's calling, and then it's like we had been watching episodes of the Wonder Years every day on our lunch break. So we had made it to the end. It was a Friday night, and he used to hang out at the house, stay at the house all the time. And so anyways, we were like, we can't go anywhere, can't do anything. The car has no brakes unless we want to die.
Jeez.
And then we watched like the last 6 episodes of Wonder Years, and that's how it tops off from what I remember. And it was, man, we were already like 4 or 5 beers deep, and then it was just pure depression mode and sadness. We're talking about things that we would never talk about. We're like,
right.
I really miss my dad, man. Like kind of stuff. So the dog really messed us up. I'm telling you, don't watch the last episode of Wonder Years. It'll get you.
Man.
It will jump out and get you.
I love that later on they went back and hit that again with the Deadpool movie. Freaking great, dude. Oh my God. Tom Clark's 6M podcast is sponsored in part by Radius Law Group. Every day, Radius helps individuals, families, small businesses, and nonprofit organizations throughout North Carolina, Florida, and Pennsylvania resolve their legal issues by providing effective legal counsel in the areas of estate planning, as well as elder law and Medicaid. Radius Law holds the radical belief that working with a lawyer can indeed be enjoyable. So give them a call at 1-800-519-5667 for more information and tell them that Tom Clark's 6M podcast sent you. Had Fred Savage as an adult sitting in the bed and Deadpool's telling him stories. It's so awesome, man.
Danica McKellar.
That's it.
And she's still gorgeous. And also, sliding them DMs. What up, girl? My wife knows my love for Wendy from Wonder Years. She already knows what it is. It's like Wendy from Wonder Years, Topanga, and Valerie from 90210. She already knows what it is.
See, for me, it's Scarlett Johansson. And to this day, the fact she's married to that schmuck, it just kills me. You know what I mean? We could have been something, Scarlett, you and me. We could have been something, but it's fine.
It's never too late, Scarlett.
It's another universe, I guess, Scarlett.
ScarJo, it's never too late.
ScarJo, it's you know what I mean? Like, I ain't dead yet. You know what I mean? So come on now.
You want me to message her right now?
I mean, if you got to weigh in, just, send her my headshot and say, look, Tom says it's not too late.
He said 6 feet of snow.
He's a great guy, man. He's a nice guy. He's not a schmuck like the guy you married.
I dialed back my jokes. I almost went full. Dial the jokes back. Slide everyone listening, slide into my DMs. You'll get the rest of that joke.
So the only folks we didn't mention here, Mel Smith as the albino. I love that when he wakes, he's like, I'm good at it. And then he clears his throat and suddenly he can talk better. I don't know why that pops me every time I watch it, but he's the guy in the pit of despair, I think they call it, because he's going to do the torturing. I love that guy.
Oh yeah.
It's so good.
The pit of despair as a whole is just like so funny. And every time I watch it, and it might be because I don't know what the relation is, but I always think of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly when he's hanging from the rope.
Oh my God.
It's kind of the same joke.
Yeah.
And they did that in the latest season the last season of Fallout, or this season of Fallout, actually. I think it was like episode 1 of season 2, where she's letting the ghoul hang from the rope, and they do the same kind of joke. But something about like a torture chamber with some comedy too is hilarious to me.
It
It's
is.
very Monty Python. I just think it's so funny.
Yes, it is. Why are you fixing me? It's like, well, we want people to get better. That way they can endure the torture, Want to make good shape so we can torture you later,
I mean, like if you think about it from, if you worked at Lost Luggage, right, in the airport, it's kind of the same kind of job. So you probably have the same kind of jokes when you come in, because you have to think about they work at a torture chamber. It's not, they don't necessarily want to be there. So the kind of jokes happening there just makes me laugh, because it's like what would The Office look like if it was just this setting, like
just
a Michael Scott manager.
Yeah.
It's just a job situation.
Let's see. We've also got Billy Crystal and Carol Kane as Miracle Max and Miracle Max, who's an absolute idiot. This guy does not have a clue what he's doing. And she calls him out on, like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just a bunch of gibberish. And she calls him out. He's like, dead may not be dead. And he's like, who is this character? You know what it feels like? I'm sure they're in the book. I mean, I assume they're in the book. But it almost feels like they just called up Billy and said, we got this great idea. Just come in and ad lib. Just say whatever you want. We'll roll with it, because it's so great. You know what I mean?
Do you think that he got the? Do you think he got the minimum, like John Candy? He just showed up for his friend.
I would hope so. I think that'd be wonderful.
John Candy would show up to, like when he showed up to John Hughes to do Home Alone, and they paid him like a sandwich, basically.
Yeah, it was nothing.
And he's in so much of that movie.
Yeah.
Do you think it was one of those situations? I feel like it was one of those situations. Like, Billy Crystal's funny. Let me call him, see what he's doing.
Right? I think it makes sense.
Reiner's mother is his wife in this, which is great.
Oh my God. Yeah.
She has one of my favorite lines in the entire movie, where she's like, have fun storming the castle.
Yeah. And they run it back later too with Throw Mama from the Train, because that's a Billy Crystal flick. Yeah. It's really good stuff. Kids, we talked a little bit about the plot, a lot about the characters. It is a fairy tale setting. The sword fights, which, you're talking about Bob Anderson choreographed, legendary sword master, and Elwes and Patinkin trained for several months. The revenge arc for Patinkin is great, trying to find the guy with the six fingers. And it turns out, of course, that it's Guest's character, and he is the guy with the six fingers. I mean, Montoya, I'm telling you, the first time I saw this movie, I was fairly certain that he was going to die in the end, because it did not look good. You know what I mean? Like, he was really getting wrecked. I mean,
he gets smoked immediately.
Yes.
But it's one of those things where it's like, well, that just means Dread Pirate Roberts is that good. Right?
Right. Yes, of course. Yeah. But, he made it, of course, and then becomes as we said before, a new Dread Pirate Roberts. I don't know what more I can say about how much I love this film, dude. Like, it's so good. It's so great. It's such a classic. I mean, the fact that it did not, and I don't know if I knew this at the time when it came out, because no internet in 87, right? But apparently it was difficult to market the film because they didn't know how to market it. And the trailers were kind of varied. Was it a comedy? Was it a romance? Was it an adventure? Like, Chris, I feel like if you put this movie out now, none of this is a problem, because we've had so many.
If you put this out now, you're just like, starring Billy Crystal,
right?
The movie for 5 minutes.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because that's what they would do now.
Yeah, I just feel like there's been so many films released since this one that can do. I won't say this can do a little bit of everything, but there's enough different elements in it that it can. Depending on how you market, it could still work.
I mean, what happened was some old fart watched this and was like, I don't think this is that funny or entertaining.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so we're not going to spend any money on the advertising for this.
I mean, when a bunch of old white dudes and stuff suits are still running everything, that's a problem. You know what I mean? That's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's because they're all Rugans. They're all six-fingered men.
Yeah, they are all six-fingered men. Yeah.
I do want to talk about Inigo versus Rugen in the fight, and
absolutely,
cool I thought that was, as a kid, how cool I thought that was, because it's like through the fight, it's like the revenge doesn't matter. It's like just closure.
Yeah.
He just needs that closure, and what happens in the monologue and everything afterwards, and him being injured and getting his dad's stolen sword back. Right. It's just so great. And Inigo's such a great character. And the fact that like he was originally written to be like just there for the first scene and die is crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy work. Could you imagine this movie without Inigo Montoya through?
Not at all. No.
Incredible. I love that scene. And I mean, when he just keeps repeating, I'm not even going to do it because everyone out there is already saying it in their heads. That's how iconic it is. And it's such a great scene. The fight is so good. And when he finally gets the one up, it's incredible.
Yeah.
You feel like you accomplished something. That's what I love about wrestling. Not to take it back to wrestling again. That suspension of disbelief when you can connect to a good guy like that, like where you can be like, oh man, I really want this to happen. It takes me back to my childhood. And I think of Inigo Montoya, right? Like getting this win. He really needs this win, honestly. Right. And him getting the win is incredible.
Good guys need to win in the end. Hey, everybody, all you weird people that like movies about serial killers and shows about the good guy needs to win in the end. And everybody and their brother is going to look at me and go, but that's not real life. Real life sucks. Has anyone watched the news in the past 12 months? Real life is BS. I don't want real life. I want escape. Look, man, when I read...
The whole point of entertainment is escapism.
When I read and
real
watch...
life, I'd read a biography.
Oh, my God, so book. True. I need the good guys to win. It's a problem for me. Look, you know me. You know that's why I don't do a lot of horror. I need the good guys to win. I don't like the... I don't know. I'm a baby. I admit it. I'm a big softy. I don't like... Well, there's the end of the movie. All the good guys are dead and the killer got away. And I'm like, yep, well, I just wasted an hour and a half. My life sucks. Where's a cliff so I can jump off of it? Like, no.
Well, that's not all horror films.
No, it's fair, but
the
I don't
baddie
know.
gets it pretty bad at the end.
Yeah.
He usually does survive to the sequel, though. So there's that.
There's always that. Yeah.
But so does every comic villain ever. You know, if Batman just didn't lock these people up, if Batman didn't have this anti-killing thing, Arkham Asylum would be basically empty.
I mean, yeah. It's just, then he's no longer Batman. And then it becomes, well, he's no better than any rest of them. He's a killer like they are. It's like, I don't like that my parents were taken from me, so I'm going to take up a life of crime fighting so this never happens to anyone else. How are you going to go about doing that? I'm going to kill everybody that gets in front of me. Well, then aren't you kind of doing it? Nope, it's different. No, it's not. Like, you're still committing murder. Nope, it's different. Okay, dude. Like, that's where they lose me when they suggest he should be a killer.
Hear me out on this.
Okay,
Batman and the Joker are the same person. They're the same character of a different side of a coin. And wouldn't it be so great if there's an Asylum type Batman series where they had to face off against Two-Face? Same side of the coin.
Yeah.
Because I know where you're gonna go. He's like, but Batman's not like that. Well, he kind of is. He's also a weird guy wearing costumes and running around beating the hell out of people as a vigilante. Like the Joker is also a weird guy who doesn't really have any reason for what he's doing.
Exactly.
It's just the reasoning is slightly different because we never get the Joker's backstory. But what if the Joker's backstory is the same thing and they just went different routes?
I mean, the closest we got to a backstory was the Killing Joke, which in my mind is the definitive Joker origin story, whether it's canon or not. For me, it's the definitive Joker origin story. I think it makes the most sense.
I think it would be really fun to do a Batman where he actually is the Joker and Batman at the same time.
Interesting.
That's going to make a lot of Batman fans out there mad. It's like, what if Batman just gets wild sometimes and murders half the city and then shows up and he's like, I beat the Joker.
He could never come back from it. He'd never be able to come back from it. They would have to spin it as an Elseworlds book. They'd never be able to come back from it. Because, again, it's...
Why does he need to come back? Why does it, okay, for all these people that love Shades of Grey, that would break their hearts. These Shades of Grey. These Frank Miller lovers out here, that's going to be the thing that does it for you? Not Superman?
No. I just don't think you can come back from that. I don't think you can come back from that. It's like, I don't know
You
how
can
to
come back
compare
from
it.
It's a comic. You can come back from anything. Just
Oh.
like, New 54 or whatever.
No. Hey, you're right. I'm saying they would have to spin it as a different kind of tale. They would have to try to retcon it after the fact. Sure, they could act like it never happened, but it would not be mainstream full-time Batman for the next 50 years. I don't think it would ever work.
But would it be fun Batman for this year?
No.
You don't think so?
No, dude.
You don't think that like a twisted Batman Joker, maybe Long Lost Brothers?
No.
Wayne Orphanage.
No.
Maybe Martha gave up a child.
Now
Joker's slightly older.
Now you're going into Joaquin Phoenix territory, and I hated that twist. I freaking hated it.
Oh, well, I mean, come on. Like the Joaquin Phoenix stuff what is the territory? You're talking about the Ra's al Ghul pit stuff?
No. The Joaquin Phoenix bit where he is actually Bruce Wayne's half brother. That's what I'm talking about. Where the Joker is Bruce Wayne's half brother. That's what they did in the Joker film.
You're talking about Christian Bale?
I'm not a fan. No. I'm talking about the Joker movie.
Oh, I've never seen it.
You're not missing anything. People love it. I watched it, and I'm like, I don't think I like this.
Oh, no. I have seen that one. Sorry. Yes, I have seen that one. I did not realize that was a concept in that movie.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch it. That's the one where everyone memed him doing the dance down the stairs to Sexy Boy.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny.
I don't think it works long term. I just don't think it works. I think it works as a standalone story, a graphic novel, a 6-part series, and then we're one and done. It's Elseworlds, it's multiverse, we're done. Because I just don't.
DC needs one standalone good movie.
Well, look, for all we know, they've already tackled this concept. They've done the White Knight thing, right? Where the Joker was the good guy and Batman was the villain or something like that. I've not read it, but yeah.
White Knight's kind of a different.
Is it different?
Different thing. I mean, it's similar ideology, I guess.
Yeah.
I had forgotten about the half brother stuff in the Joker, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't care for that.
I liked that movie when it came out, but it's not one that I've ever returned to. Like, I remember really enjoying that, and I never went back to it.
I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't for me. I watched it, and I'm like, I'm a comic book fan since before I learned how to read, I was a comic book fan. But 2/3 of the way into it, I'm like, they didn't make this for me. Like, I don't know who they made it for, but they didn't make it for a comic book fan. They made it for somebody different. And I don't know who that person is, but it's not Tom. I don't think it was made for traditional comic book fans. I think it was made for, hey, you know how comic books are like this? What if they're like this? And I'm like, yeah, I don't want that.
I mean, I agree. I agree with you to some standpoint, but like that's like the Frank Miller stuff is so iconic that it took over a lot of that landscape.
That's very true, dude. Kids, by the way, it's in the archives. We covered the Dark Knight Returns.
I was not invited to those.
No, because you think Batman should kill. No, that's not why. But the thing we said.
Spoiler alert: Batman does kill in those.
Well, yeah, but it's look. The thing about that book is that series of books, it was one of the greatest things that ever happened to comics. From a mainstream standpoint, it was also one of the worst things that ever happened to comics because it did bring us down that path of, got to be dark now. Well, this guy's got to be dark now. This is how we make this, and that's how we write this. They all got to be dark. And I'm like, they don't got to be dark. Like, y'all think they do.
I agree and disagree because there are some great things that came out of that. Like the was it The Longest Halloween, for instance?
Long Halloween, yep.
Like there's writers got lazy. We'll go with that.
100%. Yes.
Like you didn't have because it was a standalone thing. Frank Miller's idea was so good that you guys just decided that was what Batman is.
Yep.
You could have made Batman whatever you wanted to. It was not tied into any other series. You're still like thriving off the Batman films, right? Like because Batman, Dark Knight comes out in what, 89?
No, Dark Knight Returns came out in 87, I believe.
87. So you get Tim Burton. You have a boost already of a good guy Batman who doesn't kill anyone.
So the Dark Knight Returns came out in 87. The Batman film was 89. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Like you don't get that as an out. You guys just got lazy. It's like, oh, that's the fun way to write Batman.
And to Frank Miller's credit, I don't think Miller ever thought this needs to be Batman moving forward. It was his vision of what he thought Batman should be. But it was one guy.
He wrote, that was the end of it.
Yes.
He did the thing and that was it. He was like, all right, it's done. It was a limited, it was like a run, you know what I mean? Like it was supposed to be like, this is the Batman now.
Well, but then he came back and did it twice more, and I'm like, yeah, now you're losing me because it got weird after a while.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if the entire company keeps doing it and they invite you back, you're like, well, I guess they really liked my Batman. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that's not on Frank. I'm not. This is not on Frank.
Sure,
This on D. This on D. This is on DC. This is on DC. You guys could have easily changed up Batman. You know, we've done an incredible amount of things to Wolverine over the years, and he always comes back as a goodie.
Yeah, he. I guess he's like, well, those checks cash pretty well. Maybe I'll go back. That Dark Knight check cashed pretty well. So
yeah, I mean, I can't blame him. Get that money, Frank. Also, like, I'm gonna write up a script for my idea, and you'll be like, oh, I think that might be pretty good.
You know what? You can do that if you want to, but I mean, as far as what you're expecting from me, lower your expectations, because
you're like, I want Detective Batman.
I want him with a magnifying glass and a funny hat. That's what I want.
You're like, I want you know Briscoe from Law and Order. Law and Order. That's what I want. That's what I want Batman to be.
Yes, I want to be cranky and have great one-liners and be disgruntled. His tie's always crooked, and
he doesn't even have like a Batman costume. It's just a go-go gadget coat with a ski mask.
Oh man,
he's like, I'm Batman. That'd be great though. Someone do that detective novel as Batman. That'd be pretty good. Just like do Leonard Briscoe quotes.
Well, welcome back from the Batman / Law and Order podcast, kids. I'm back in the pilot seat now because you mentioned I like doing it again and like coming back. We do this a lot on the show, Chris. We'll review a movie, whether it's real time or after the fact, and we'll say the word sequel. I am not advocating a sequel should have ever been made. This movie's perfect as it is. Could you envision a world in which they did a sequel and it was a success, or do you think there was just too much of, hey, we don't know how to market the first one, why would we ever make a second one?
The amount of money that this movie made in the aftermath, I think they would make another one. In the same way that they'd make another Showgirls, giving the right set of circumstances.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
But what I will say is don't touch this movie.
Don't touch this movie. Yeah.
I will fight you outside. Somebody in Hollywood's going to catch hands if they try to remake this one. Honestly, if you're like, well, there's not going to be an episode of Bachman's Basement. Pat got arrested for fighting someone for trying to remake Princess Bride. That's exactly what will happen. If I hear that announced, I will be so disappointed and so sad because they'll try to set it in like the 70s or something. They'll just ruin it. You know what I mean? Like you can't just have a fairy tale movie with good actors and a great director. They'll just be like, you know, it'd be really great if we got like M. Night Shyamalan to do like a twist ending of Princess Bride for no reason. And like, I don't know, like what's Holly Hunter up to? she can be Buttercup. You're like, Holly Hunter, she's like, yeah, there's like a time twist. That's what Hollywood would do. My faith in like Hollywood doing any kind of, don't touch this movie. I swear to God. There's enough bad things going on in the world without someone trying to remake this film.
So, believe it or not, there was a DIY remake of The Princess Bride released on Quibi in 2020 to benefit World Central Kitchen. It was directed by Jason Reitman, titled Home Movie, The Princess Bride. And it had Sophie Turner, Joe Jonas, Chris Pine, and Hugh Jackman. And they were all recreating the scenes during the pandemic. So it wasn't an actual film. That is interesting, man.
Okay, so if it's just a fun thing that they weren't trying to make money off of, fine. Otherwise, send me the address of who made this, and they'll fuck around and find out. I swear to God, stop touching movies I love. Just leave them alone. Like, what? Just original idea, dude. It's not that hard.
Yes, it is.
No,
it's for them.
For Hollywood? I was like, just anything like two cats go on an adventure. You're like, that's kind of like Homeward Bound. Yeah, but this one's about cats. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but Homeward Bound's just sitting there. It's dogs. Let's do dogs. Let's do Homeward Bound the remake. You know, stop talking. Stop.
just do the cat movie that I pitched. They're like, no, we need the IP, brother.
Hey,
listen, it's not going to work for me, dude.
Production meetings start with a guy with a great pitch, and then there's one dude in the room going, you know what this sounds like? It sounds like Homeward Bound. We could do dogs. Let's just remake it. And he just goes, and they all go, yeah. They start taking notes, and the original guy's going, yeah, but wait. And then they're all leaving the room with their clipboards and laptops.
You guys do know how different cats and dogs are. Half of the jokes were about cats.
Right.
They're like, oh, we're gonna do it about dogs now. And anyways, Homeward Bound. Homeward Bound 6.
There has got
I guess
to
it
be.
would be. I guess it would be 4.
Right, of course.
Technically.
There has got to be a reason why this film has never been remade. There's got to be look, because to your point, it's not been remade. Why? Well, there's got to be a reason. Like, I know the reason for the Back to the Future franchise. It's Over My Dead Body is the reason. And because of that, because of Zemeckis, and I forget the screenwriter, as long as those two gentlemen are still with us, that it will not be touched. Okay. But like, there's got to be a reason. There's got to be something in place that says, nope, you're not touching this. Because otherwise they would have touched it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but now that Rob Reiner has passed on, unfortunately, in a very tragic circumstance, and the writer of the book has passed on, as far as I'm aware, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I'll double check that. Who's going to stop it? And the answer is Fred Savage. Fred Savage, get out there, start throwing fisticuffs with the boys if they try to remake this movie. They're like, we're going to make Fred Savage the grandpa. You'd be like, no, dude, we're not remaking this film. Put on the Nintendo Power Glove and go to work, brother.
I like that you brought the word fisticuffs to the show twice in one episode. I'm here for that.
I love fisticuffs. It's such a good word.
Goldman died. He passed in 2018, so he's been gone for a minute.
Yeah, so that means that this thing is getting relaunched. And
I'm not campaigning for it, dude. I don't want to see it remade, of course.
How can you make it any better? This is my thing about remakes, right? Okay, you take an original piece of art, and I'm gonna do a remake.
Mm.
What are you gonna do that's different? I do this with cover songs. I try to do them different than the original material and whatever.
Sure.
I know that they're not gonna be as good, but also I'm not trying to sell them to people.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big difference if I do that for fun. Like if Hollywood's going to do this for fun, which they're not going to do that for fun. That's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is we're going to get like Olivia Rodrigo as Princess Buttercup. Like that's actually what's going to happen. Don't touch this movie. Just let it be. It's fine. You guys have made so much money off this film. It's 40 years of money. Just 30 years of money, I guess. I don't know. But in any case, just leave it alone. It's fine. And you could do the same tale. Call it something else. Or do a sequel.
Oh, a sequel. That'd be interesting. Hey, all cards on the table. Could you take a sequel? I could
take a sequel and get Mel Brooks to do it. We saw a bunch of lineups as we were talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Interesting.
A sequel I'd be fine with because it is at the end of the day, it's a fairy tale,
Yeah.
I feel like I could think of a good way to start that sequel. It's like the castle being attacked,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's a new Inigo or there's a new, Dread Pirate Roberts because you always pass the cloth down.
Oh, you could take that angle with it.
And that's your hero, right? Throughout the rest of the film.
So to answer the question, kids, the late Rob Reiner said that a remake would be pointless. And all the cast had the same, they all agreed. And they basically all said, don't mess with it like we're saying here today. And apparently everybody went along with that. Trying to recast anybody in this. I just don't, like you said, what value are you bringing to it as a remake? What more are you saying that wasn't said in the original? What are you doing that wasn't already done? You can't do anything except, well, I was going to say we can make it worse. No, you can't. I'm so torn on this because if I have my original movie, you didn't take it away from me. You didn't hurt me at all. What you make might be crap, but you didn't hurt the movie. But I don't know. I'm torn on that. I'm not saying I agree with it. I don't agree with it.
I'm torn. I'm not torn on it because at the end of the day, that creativity of all the people in the room that could have been spent doing something else is making a remake. You know what I mean? Instead of focusing, like I said, a sequel or something, or doing a similar tale with a different name. That's like, oh, that's kind of like Princess Bride. That's fine. That happens in music all the time, right? It's like,
sure.
Oh, that kind of sounds like the Stones. Like, whatever, who cares? Like, spend your creative force doing that rather than just trying to rewrite something that's already a classic.
Right.
Like, what is that's like if I sat down and I was like, I'm going to rewrite Stairway to Heaven. That's my goal today. You know what I mean? Like, don't
Yeah,
not comparing this movie to Stairway to Heaven, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
sure.
there's just certain things that you don't need to touch, or like just let it go. Not everything has to be an IP. Back in the day, America, the one thing that we output more than cars was great films. And we're getting further and further away from that with this obsession with IPs. And the thought of someone remaking this upsets me so
Yeah,
much,
it's
Tom.
yeah. Oh, dude, it's no, it's not worth it. Here's what I'll say. I would advocate for some sort of animated, like an animated series. I think that'd be wonderful. I don't think you have to retell the story. I think you could tell tales of after this story, or maybe adventures on his way to find her would be fun. Make it funny. Doesn't necessarily have to be for kids, but make it somewhere in between. I'd be here for that. I think the voice casting could be fun to do. I think that'd be awesome. But like live action, I don't see the point of it. You know what they do? It's their kid. Here's their kid. That's what they would do.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't even have to do that. You just, if you want a sequel, you just do Dread Pirate Roberts,
Sure.
right? Because you can pass the torch. It's been, like I said, it's been 34 years, whatever. It's a fairy tale land. It could be 100 years in the future.
Well,
what would J.R. Tolkien do? They need those bracelets of like, what would Tolkien do? Like,
right.
look down and be like, well, how do we figure out this fantasy universe? Yeah, I don't know. Just don't touch it. Leave it alone. Who cares? Make a Legend of Zelda movie. It's right there. It's just kind of the same thing we talked about earlier.
Sure.
Nintendo's probably got money waiting to make a Ocarina of Time movie. You know what I mean? Like, if you just want a new fantasy film that no one's done, like, why? There's 100 fairy tales that you could do. Why with one that's great? Like, I'm sorry to cuss, but like, what is the point? What would be the end goal? What is the end goal? Is it like I talk about this on your wrestling podcast all the time? Is like, what is the? But there's not going to be any money. They're going to spend $100 million making this thing. It'll probably make like $120 million at the box office. I was like, so you made $20 million and made everyone hate your company. Congratulations.
They're like,
and tanked like 3 promising actors or actresses' career while doing it.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's just shocking that it's not been touched. I'm telling you, I feel like there's something in place. There's a document, there's something where all parties agreed and like the rights to do it maybe have been locked up. I don't know. I can't say the studio owns the rights. I'm not sure. Don't even know how you'd find out. Let's just Google the heck out of it. But, since it was a book first, how does that work? Does it lapse? Ownership lapses a lot of times for, copyright. But I don't know. I suspect there's something in place that says, yeah, no, the estate won't sign off on this or yada, 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 which I'm glad. I'm glad there's something there if there is. That's wonderful.
If Goldman has some kind of contract written in there that's like, this can never be touched again, that would be incredible. And hopefully this is the other thing is as people age out, and that's a weird way to say it, but you know what I mean? Like, please, family, watch the original before you just release this to the wild. I know it's money, but come on.
Yeah. Well, look, we kicked this show off, and the first thing I asked you is like, where do you rank it for you? It's one of his greatest of all time, and I know you kind of ranked it for yourself. How do you think it's looked at, like sort of as a whole? Do you think people, when they think of Rob Reiner, they think of this movie first? I mean, how do you think like its legacy is for the stuff that he, versus the other stuff that he did during his career?
I would say for the general public, this is his best movie. I would say for like musicians and people that want a comedy, they would probably lean towards Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
And then for weirdos like me, Stand By Me. Stand By Me is actually his best movie. This is a great film. I love it. I have such a solid attachment to it with my, from my childhood, like I talked about earlier. But seriously, go check out Stand By Me. I think Stand By Me is his best film by far. But all 3 of these films are great. Like, you should watch all 3 of them. That's a Saturday right there, a Saturday or a Sunday.
There you go.
Great movies. This is like asking me if I like, pizza better than cheeseburgers. That's a tough decision. But right. Stand By Me is so great in multiple ways. It's a coming of age story. It's based off a Stephen King novel. The whole casting is so phenomenal in that movie. And it's also, I feel like it's shot better than Princess Bride, if you want to go cinematography or whatever about it.
Mm.
But Princess Bride is always going to have a very special place in my heart. And, if I was stuck on an island, you're like, which one do you want to watch? It's like, I can watch Stand By Me like once every 5 years. Princess Bride I can watch all the time. So
Oh, yeah.
take that for what it is as
Yeah.
far as which one I would rank higher as far as what the quality of film is. Because that's one of those weird things that they don't do at the Oscars is like, well, which one of these are you going to watch again? You're like,
Yeah, I mean, to me, I can definitely watch this at any time, and I have, because it's just such a great flick. Well, kids, there you go. We landed the plane eventually, and look, man, we're fans of a lot of different kind of stuff here on the show. I'm sure that all comes across with every episode that we do, but we like to talk. We like to talk about a lot of other things, and things kind of segue from one topic to another. But I think this movie warrants that because of Andre and because of comedy and was considered success and bits and routines, and we threw Mel Brooks in there. But yeah, I think it all fits, man. I think it all fits. Chris, as we wrap this up, what do you think, man? What's your last word on Princess Bride?
it is a great family movie. It is one that if you have a kid that's over the age of 6 and they haven't seen it, show it to them. Sit down and watch it with them. It's something that is very special throughout my childhood. I still love it. I think it's wonderful. Once again, it's kind of one of those weird things where I don't know where to rate it as far as Reiner films go, because I have emotional attachments to all of them. Unless I'm just going to be film snob about it and be like, I think there's one that's better as a film, like kind of stuff. But like, I have emotional attachments to all of them. But it's a wonderful, wonderful movie. And I believe there's a great Criterion collection of this movie. I think I own. I would say go pick that up if you can. There's some really fun behind the scenes stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Own the physical copy, kids. Own the copy. Do not bother with digital unless you can physically download your digital copy to your hard drive. I mean, then I would say that's fine, because then you technically do own it. It is on your drive. But buddy, if you can't download it, no. I mean, just understand you're paying for the rights to watch it. You didn't buy that film. See, we give life lessons here. We tell you about the movie. We tell you about other stuff. Then we give you a friendly warning at the end. Don't get hoodwinked. Watch yourselves out there.
I'm already typing the petition to stop a remake of this film now as we speak.
Well, there you have it, kids. Keep your eyes open for that petition and be sure you sign it, because it's important. But thanks, everybody, for checking us out, as always, for sharing, liking, subscribing, and all that good stuff on boinkstudios.com and on the YouTube. Be sure to check us out, Boink Studios, this podcast, along with a lot of other great podcasts, all free of charge. Nothing's behind a paywall. Content dating back since 2014, and a little something for everybody. So please go check it out if you will. And again, thanks as always for listening to the show. And check us out again next week with another brand new episode. But until then, that is The Princess Bride. Hey, thanks for listening to the show. Check out our social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at 6M Podcast. We'll see you next time.